morning, everyone. The main focus of this, the main agenda or the focus, you can say, of this demo or the webinar is we are going to show you how Windows Virtual Desktop looks like in a real time and when you have already implemented it. So by the look and feel of it, you can, if you have already got your Windows Virtual Desktop, then you can enhance your capabilities of Windows Virtual Desktop by seeing how it has to be managed. Or if you are planning to go for the Windows Virtual Desktop, this will be a beneficial webinar for you to make your understanding more clear on how it looks and feels. So before, as Deepak has already mentioned, that if in case I have been joined with my colleague Irfan, who is supporting us from the Insight, and in case if you have any query in between, feel free to drop it in the chat box. He will be ready to help you with the answers. Now, before we go get into the presentation, it will be good to have the understanding of what Windows Virtual. A quick recap, I will say, to understand what Windows Virtual Desktop is. So, by the definition of it, Windows Virtual Desktop or WVD, that's what the abbreviation will be using it for the entire presentation. So this WVD is a short, is a born in cloud desktop as a service platform, which is offered on top of the Microsoft Azure cloud. All the infrastructure service such as, brokering, web access, load balancing, management, and monitoring is all set up for you as part of the control plane offering. It also gives you, the access to the new Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session operating system. This is something which is the most striking feature of Windows Virtual Desktop that we'll be discussing in the next slide, which is completely optimized for the sake of Office 365 Pro Plus, such as Outlook, OneDrive files, on demand, and Teams, etc. The only responsibility while using this Windows Virtual Desktop in terms of management effort is the golden image on top of the Azure infrastructure as a service, and the rest of all is managed for you through the Azure services. These are the benefits that we were talking about earlier, and the most striking feature, as I mentioned in my previous slide, that most striking feature that Windows Virtual Desktop offers is it enables the multi-session Windows 10 experience, which is optimized again for Office 365 Pro Plus, and this facility is only available with Windows Virtual Desktop, and it will help you to save your cost and optimize your solution as well. So apart from that, Windows Virtual Desktop or WVD helps your employee to stay as productive with the virtualized experience on the PC, phone, tablet, or browser as they are with your physical PC sitting in front of them. So it will be a live-like experience, you can say, that users get. The another feature that we talk about here is simplified management, provisioning, and access to the corporate data and applications. It also supports the customers as they migrate to the cloud. And it also reduces the cost, of course, and the resources associated with it, with managing on-premise infrastructure as well. It empowers the IT to transform the workplace. Along with it has a integrated security and features with the Microsoft 365 suite, as most of you would be aware. We'll be talking about that in a bit in the next slides. So the supported operating system, which Windows 7, Windows Virtual Desktop is, it's Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session. You can create a single session as well, which will be dedicated host, and we'll be seeing all of these things in a bit when we start the demo. We'll be seeing all these features, how it is being done, and what significance it makes. You can also use Windows 7 single session, Windows Server 2019 and 2016, along with 2012 R2 are supported as well. So talking about the security, as mentioned that WVD has the built-in security and it is offered by Windows Virtual Desktop. It includes, reverse connect, Azure AD authentication, Azure Active Directory joint virtual machines. Along with it, Windows Virtual Desktop is linked with Microsoft 365 features, which includes conditional access, multi-factor authentication, role-based access control, etc. And all of these exist within Microsoft Azure. We believe that you as a customer should fully trust the cloud, and they should be choose to bank Microsoft Azure for your business. That's why Microsoft Drive to provide the most secure and compliant cloud platform with the privacy at the center of all its innovation. So talking about that, they have the most certification in the cloud till date. You can check it on the internet. It is there. You can find all of them. They have the secure foundation of Azure cloud services, including some of the best physical security, operational security through continual testing for vulnerability and restricted access. Because you as a customer can has the control to manage data and access, including multi-factor authentication for admin, and of course, this network and distributed denial of service protection is already there in the center. So keeping all of these in mind, the Windows Virtual Desktop, as I said, that it is well integrated, well amalgamated with Microsoft Security M365 that M365 suite offers. So now, talking about the deployment overview, this will just take, I will be briefing about how this demo has been created for you, and what are the prerequisites that needs to be created before we jump onto, the demo. All right, so these are the prerequisites. I will say that I will break that prerequisite of deploying Windows Virtual Desktop into 3 steps. The first step is choosing the identity strategy, which means that what kind of identity strategy, what kind of authentication mechanism you are going to use if you are going to use Windows Virtual Desktop. So there are multiple options. The first one is Azure PaaS service, which is Azure Active Directory Domain Services, which is a platform as a service offered by Microsoft Azure. You can use a virtual IaaS service, which is virtual. You can create a virtual machine on Azure and get your Active Directory configured on top of it. The next one is ExpressRoute or VPN to the on-premise data center. So if you have a hybrid kind of identity where some of your workload is lying on-premise and some of your workload is lying on the cloud, so you can create a site-to-site VPN, and you can using that you can amalgate your or sync your on-premise data domain controller to get authenticated from the cloud. For the demo, for this demo, we are using IaaS service, which is we have created a virtual machine on Azure, and we have configured Active Directory on top of it. The second step, I will say that choosing where to host FSLogix profile. So FSLogix has been acquired by Microsoft very recently, and it is used for creating user profile. We'll be seeing it in a bit, and so there are again multiple options. You can create a file server, Azure file server. You can create Azure files with Azure Active Directory domain service, or you can create Azure NetApp files. And for this demo, we are using we are hosting FSLogix profiles on the file server. Step 3 is to make sure that all your credentials needed are there in line. So the credentials that are required are subscription administration as a subscription admin, Azure Active Directory global admin, Azure Active Directory administrator, and the WVD tenant creator. We will say tenant creator or tenant admin for this. So these are the prerequisites that is required when you start to deploy your Windows Virtual Desktop. So the architecture will be briefly discuss about the architecture of Windows Virtual Desktop, how it looks like. So the first step that you must do is creating the Azure managed image or a golden image. We will see this in a short bit when we start the demo. or the golden image in VDI, or use one pre-built image from the gallery. You can choose that. Most often, this will be based on new Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session operating system, which is now available from the Azure Marketplace. We will see it in a bit again. After enrolling the server, you can start installing the application on the machine. And when all of these are done, you must capture the machine as an image to use as a base for your Windows Virtual Desktop deployment. This is what the strategy we follow. Again, the Microsoft Managed Control Plane is a completely redesigned infrastructure which leverages native Azure platform services to scale automatically. You do not have to worry about the scale out or scale in option. This has been taken care by Microsoft as we talked earlier as well. Now think about this Azure, this as the Azure front door and as a global load balancer for RDP connection, remote desktop connection. Azure App Service in Azure for hosting the infrastructure service, SQL DB for hosting the RDS brokerage database, and leveraging all these services is the main reason why this service is so cost effective, and which is the purpose of cloud and what it is built for. Again, as I said, that in case you have any query, please feel free to write in the comment box. Irfan is there and he will handle it. Now, talking about it in a broad sense, connecting from your virtual machine in Azure to your host pool works differently with Windows Virtual Desktop. It uses reverse connect, which means that no inbound port needed to be opened on the virtual machine to set up the RDP connection. Once the connection flow proceeds, bidirectional communication between your session host pool will go over HTTPS port, that is 443. This port is always open, almost always open from the inside to the outside. So it's perfect for a remote connection to Windows Virtual Desktop. Yeah. So WVD again is a global load balance services via it utilizes one of the Azure services which is called Azure Front Door. It means that traffic flow below always go via the nearest management control plane service location, which you can see in the middle bucket, which is visible from this one, WVD bucket. And this service, that is global Azure Front Door service, it is available in multiple regions now, and Microsoft has the roadmap. It is not available in UAE North currently, but Microsoft has the roadmap to get it in UAE North as well in the very near future. So talking about the process flow, this is how this process flow of the WVD infrastructure should be. The first, you can see the user launches, any user launches the remote desktop client, which connects to Azure AD, which sign in to the Azure AD and returns the token, and Azure AD returns the token. The second step, the second flow step of the flow is remote desktop client presents token to the web access. Broker requires a database to determine resource authorized for the user. So the third step is the end user who is going to use this Windows Virtual Desktop. He selects the resource, remote desktop client, and connects to the gateway. The fourth step that is been done once the authentication has happened, is the broker, cloud broker, orchestrate connection from host agent to the gateway. The host agent to the gateway, the connection is established, and then finally RDP client flows between remote desktop client and session host virtual machine over the connection 3 and 4. So in large organization, these are typically different people, but if you are just starting out of a small IT department, these can be only same person if needed. So I'm talking about these accesses, Active Directory accesses. So one Azure subscription admin who is required to grant access to Azure portal and resources. One Azure Active Directory admin is required to who can provision users and manage users and admin accesses as well. The another one who is required is Windows Virtual Desktop Tenant Admin or the Tenant Creator, who is responsible to provision and maintain the Windows Virtual Desktop specific settings. And the last one is Windows Virtual Machine Administrator, who is required to provision virtual machines once the Windows Virtual Desktop is set up. Now, this is the flow diagram of Windows Virtual Desktop. This will be referring this architecture during the demo. This is the high-level architecture, and we'll be referring this demo. We'll be referring it in our next segment, that is our demo. So again, if you have any query till here or anything, please feel free to drop it in the chat box, and Irfan will be able to assist you out. Also, if in case you feel that the pace of this demo is a bit faster, then please feel free to drop it in the chat box. All right, so now we'll be doing the demo. We'll be sharing it. So for the demo, we have for this demo we have set up some what we are going to do. There are some agenda. First, we are going to understand how the Windows Virtual Desktop environment look like. After that, we'll be we'll be seeing how the Windows Virtual Desktop host pool deployment, or what are the Windows Virtual Desktop host pool deployment options are. We will then create remote application groups and remote desktop groups. We'll be publishing required application in the application group. We'll try to add or remove users from different group. And then finally, we'll be understanding user profile management using FSLogix. So first thing first, we will be looking into how the Windows Virtual Desktop environment looks like. So this is the demo that we have created, and as I said, that you just need to search host pool in that Azure Active Directory, Azure, and then this is the Windows Virtual Desktop provision a host pool option you will get. You'll be getting. You just need to create. Click on create here. Please make sure be noted that this is a once you have started creating it, this will be the paid service. So here you have to mention your Azure subscription and resource group. Again, the reason in which you are hosting. Currently, due to the high demand, you cannot see some of the reasons being listed here, like UAE North. It is here, but I don't think due to this pandemic issue and the increased demand, you will be able to provision the resource here. But if you will request Microsoft in advance, they will provision that resource in your subscription, and you will be able to provision your resource in this region. And then you will be creating the host pool name. Desktop pool, again, as I mentioned earlier, that there are two things, you multi-session and the personal desktop. So pooled means you can multiple users can connect inside one pool of resources, and you can save the cost there. The personal, when you click on personal, you will be one resource will be allocated to one user at a time. Service metadata location, that you have to say that where your metadata is going to. By default, it is in US currently, because this is because the Azure Active Directory data, which is hosted in US region, and by any chance you have to share your metadata. You have to choose your metadata location to United States only. Now the second step is configuring the virtual machine. So create an availability set. The first option that we get here is creating the availability set. This selecting this option, we always recommend to select this option, where it will ensure that your virtual machine or the resources of your underneath resources of your WVD are always available. It works on creative when one if let's say that one instance is not healthy, it will automatically switch all the traffic data to the another instance, and that's why we always recommend to create it in a availability set. Again, the user profile. So what kind of users? Based on the kind of users, the amount of users, you have got options. So you have light users, medium, heavy, power users, and the custom users. So if you can see the difference that when I'm selecting the different mode, different sort of user mode, then automatically the virtual machine size is changing. So for heavy users, we are going to use this 13 standard D4S and D4S V3. You can change the number of users, total number of users here. Power user, for power user, you can see the NA series virtual machines are selected, and for the custom, you can customize it at any set. You can always change the size of your virtual machine using seeing here. You can always select whatever if you want to change it from here. The next comes the virtual machine setting. If you remember in the first slide itself, we talked about the main and the most important thing which you have to manage, which is the only thing that you have to manage, is the image, the Windows image. So there are three options here. Gallery, you can if you the first is blob storage. So if your image is saved in Azure blob storage, you can save your Windows Virtual Desktop, Windows 10 or Windows 7, whatever VHD image you are using, and you can, if you are saving it on the blob storage, you just put that address here, and it will be imported from that blob storage. The second is managed image, which is let's say that you have created an image and you have done some sort of modification on top of it, and you have saved it somewhere. So you can create you can use that managed image to create your WVD instances here. You can put your image name and resource group name if it is there, and then you can go ahead. The third option is gallery. So this is taken from the Azure Marketplace, that what sort of Windows Windows 10 and images are available on Marketplace. You can, if you will use this drop down, you will see that there are multiple images which is available currently to be selected to create your resource pool. So Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session with Office 365 Pro Plus, multi-session enterprise, and data center is the current option. You can always select your disk type, and you have to create your virtual network. If it is already created, then you can select it from this drop down list, and if it is not created, you can create it from here. The next is Windows Virtual Desktop information. The way you want to use the authentication, whether it is UPN or you want to create the service principal, you can use any of these settings. So this is an overview. We are not going to create it. Since we have already created one, and the greenfield implementation of this takes a lot of time, so it won't be a good idea to create this desktop provision a host pool right here, but we have already created it. So again, in case if you are having any query, please feel free to write in the chat box, and Irfan will be there to help you out. So that's the second thing that we are going to talk about it. Now, just wanted to tell you about something that by default, there is no any management pane which is available in Microsoft Azure to do all this sort of management which we talked about, that creating a host pool, or creating user group, creating application group. By default, till now it is not there. However, this is in the pipeline, that they are creating something, and it will be there in the next release of Windows Virtual Desktop, that you will get a GUI kind of this kind of model, from where you can do all the management tasks, that creating a host pool, application group, user group, remote desktop group, and things like that. But as of now, if you have to do those sort of management, you have to rely on PowerShell. So next we are going to talk about how to how to deploy host pool in our environment. So first thing, getting the list of current, as I said that we have already created a list of host pools in for this demo. So we'll be trying to create something like that. I will just increase its size so that you will be able to see it properly. Just give me a moment. All right. Hope you are all able to see the screen now. It's a bit larger. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is if you already have the PowerShell, the first command that you need to import the module for modules of RDS, remote desktop services from you can find it on the internet. For me, it is already there. So for authentication, I'll be using this command that add RDS account, and the deployment URL, it will be connecting to this deployment URL, so that it will ask me for the username and password. Yeah. All right. So I'll be entering into it. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So you can see that I'm now into this default tenant group with the username that I have just provided. So in order to get the list of all the host pool which I have already created, you can see it here. All right. So these are the list of host pool that has been already created inside the tenant. You can see for all these host pool, the tenant name remains constant, which is Alpha Data WVD. Under the same tenant, we have created the host pool. The first host pool was app pool. The second was desktop. The third was WVD. And WVD pool 1 and stuff like that. So these are the list of host pools which are created inside it, and this is how you can see the list of host pool which is available there. Now as you can see that we will be in the next thing we will be seeing how to create this demo, how to create these host pool. And again, there is a simple command to do that. First, let's check that how my host pool looks like. So it's better, due to the cache and all those things, it's better to go incognito. All right, to go incognito. And here we need to, the users has already been created. This is one of the options that you can check it via RDWeb WVD, via this web client online, or you can check it with one of the desktop client that you can download from internet. You can use it with this as well. So it will come. Yeah. So first I will show you that how it looks like here. So as you can see that these many applications have already been created here. Excel, OneDrive, Outlook, PowerPoint, Word. We'll see that how to create. We will add another application in this host pool, And additional to it, you can see that there is another desktop is also available. So if you will open any one of them, you can see that it will ask for something, some stuffs here. Meanwhile, I will just try to connect from here as well with another user, which is, I will use another user. Okay, since this user is already logged in there. All right. So if you'll see, it has again asked me for my credentials. Okay, so this is the way we will create it there. I mean, it is giving me some connection credential issue. All right, so you can see that for this user, I have logged in with another user here. This is the application. Let me minimize it so that you can understand it in a nice way. So this is the application, and for this user, only this desktop option is available. We will see how to add this user in the, when we will add this user in the application group, you will see that it will appear here as well. But for now, I will unsubscribe him, and I will subscribe again with the previous user that was there, so that you can see how it looks here. So for John Doe, meanwhile, again, it is asked for the user credential. I am messing with it, so I will just let it go. And
you can enter the sorry to interrupt. You can enter the local credentials, which is alpha data me/John D, instead of entering the entire UPN address.
okay,
Yeah, we are going to enter the Active Directory credentials here, the local on-premise credentials.
yeah.
Alpha data me/John D.
Okay. Okay. So 1 second. There is connectivity issue. We'll check that. Okay. Similarly, you can see the desktop, or you can create the desktop from here. You can check the desktop, and as you say, as I said, mentioned here, you can see the list of for this John D. It is available all for him. All the application as well as the desktop is available here. So this is how both of the portal, you can see it from the portal and from the application, desktop application. This is how you can check that. Now, as you see, as you have seen for this John D, we have the applications here, but I just want to add, if I want to add another application in this pool, again, we need to use PowerShell for that. And this is how we will be adding it. Again, the PowerShell, I will be using this command to create. Yeah. So now you can see that in the tenant alpha data WVD, host pool name is app pool, and this WordPad has been added. So if I will go here and refresh it, you can see that the WordPad has been added here. So this is the way we can add applications here, or remove the applications from here. The similar PowerShell command will be posting the PowerShell command simultaneously in the chat box. You can refer them. So this is the way we will be adding the applications into it, and we'll be removing again. For the removal, we just need to use the command remove, and we'll be adding it inside the WVD, inside the chat box here. Yeah. So now this was something. Okay. Now this is how we will be adding or removing some applications from this group, and how we will be adding the users or this is now I will show you something. We have created another user. I will try to log in with that and see what I'm getting. So for this user, we have created this user, Harry Potter, in the Azure AD, but we have not added it into any of the resource group, any of the app pool or the desktop pool. We have not added him in anywhere. So that's why you can see that it says that it looks like system administrator hasn't set up any resources for this account yet. Please choose different account or try again. So what we are going to do, we are going to add this user into this app pool, and we will see that how it appears with him. So again, for that, we need to create, we need to use a PowerShell command. Again, if I will try to refresh it, you can see that this user has been added in the desktop pool. So the command that I used was a desktop application group. I have added into the desktop application group. If I want to add him to remote application group, I just need to tweak this, and in the app pool I will just do remote app group. Okay, so this specified user principal is already assigned to desktop app. Okay, so there is some different name. Okay, so this is the application pool. Again, there is some issues is happening, but this is the way we will be doing it. There are different remote application group is different. Just give me a moment. I have kept it somewhere. Fine, if you can write in the chat box what was the command.
You're trying to remove the user from the.
I'm trying to add
You're
him
trying
to,
to add it, and if it
yeah,
says that it's already added, try removing the user from the particular group and re-add it again.
okay.
You have an option to remove -rds group user. Let me type that in the command.
Yeah, yeah, this is the one.
Yes, that one.
Okay, no, this is John D. I missed it again. All right, so if I will, this will done for the another user. 1 second.
You can remove John D and you can re-add him again. You can remove John D and just refresh the window.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, this guy has been removed, and now I will run this command in the remote app group. All right, so now if I will go here and refresh it. Perfect. So now you can see that it has been added in the application group, and we can add him simultaneously with both app group and the desktop group. Irfan will write the command for doing the same in the chat box, and this is how we can add or remove user, and based on that we can do the management. Again, as I said that. These all activities cannot be done without PowerShell as of now. Microsoft is planning, and they are working on to release in the next release. They'll be releasing an application through or a portal from where you can go and do all these things, creating or adding users via a GUI. So this is in the pipeline, but it is not available yet. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is understanding user profile management using FS Logic. So FS Logics is something, as I said, that it is something which is used to create user profile in this case, in case of WVD. 1 second. Well, Irfan, if you can add something on FS Logics. I'm trying to get this up. Meanwhile, you can add something.
Yeah, sure. So basically, FS Logic is a tool which is used, which is purchased by Microsoft from a different vendor. And what they're trying to achieve here is similar to the solution of roaming profiles. So we have roaming profiles in traditional Windows where users trying to log in multiple sessions, no, still need the profile desktop settings to be intact, right? So in the same way, what Microsoft has done is they have used FS Logic as a tool to integrate this roaming profiles with multiple solutions. Now, Microsoft is allowing you to use three different solutions. One is the on-premises file server, where you can store all your profile settings there. Other is using the Azure Files, which is again a cloud solution for the file services in Azure. So you can store all the user profile settings and the data in the Azure Files. And the third is the Azure NetApp files as well. So the Azure NetApp files is again from the NetApp vendor. You can store all your profile settings in that solution as well. So FS Logic is allowing you to integrate with these three different solutions to store all the user profile settings. Now, the concept of Windows Virtual Desktop, as you all know, that we have multiple host pools. A user can be logging to multiple host pools. As Amit showed earlier, you have a desktop environment where you're only hosting a desktop session, and you have the applications environment where you're having Outlook on OneDrive, etc. But you have only one single user accessing multiple host pools here. So this user should not have multiple profiles getting created. That's not the concept. So what FS Logic does is, for a single user, there will be only one profile setting with all the data, no matter how many host pools you have. So that is what the FS Logic is all about, and it is way above the step of roaming profiles, which is a traditional one.
So as you can see here, this is my domain controller, which we have created. And once we create a profile there, any user profile there, by default, it gets created inside C drive profile share. And here it is by default this Kilby and John D profile has been created. Similarly, if you add any other user there, those profiles will be appended over here. Now, if you'll, there needs to be some sort of configuration needs to be done while setting up this FS Logics, and that again has been already been set up. We have created application pool. This is our virtual machine which is used for application pool, and the desktop pool. We have created different virtual machine for the desktop pool. So you need to go to regedit and to see if the moment you have added the profiles there, it'll one profile of FS Logics you can see will already will be created over here, and you just have to mention this location of profiles here, that from where it is the profile is being created, so that you just have to tweak this location, and your FS Logics will be done. So this is all from me. Again, if you have any query, now can we unmute them, Niveen, so that if
no, they can send it in the chat box, or the Q&A. There is any. First, let's take our last poll, then we can.
Yeah, so that is it from my side. Thank you so much for your patience, and hope it was a helpful session, and it will help you to choose Windows Virtual Desktop. And in case of any query, please feel free to reach to Alpha Data. We will be able to assist you in any manner possible. Thank you so much. You want to add something, Deepak?
Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, can you share it on the chat box or the Q&A?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have one question, I think, from Mr. Karim Zada. Are we using WVD service for terminal service sharing an application to multiple users?
Yes, Karim. We are using WVD service alone for sharing the session with multiple users. This is a new feature with WVD, which is having in the Windows 10. We know that it was already there in the Windows Server. We can have multiple RTP sessions, but for Windows 10 it was not there, even with Citrix as well. So for Microsoft has now offered multi-session sharing for Windows 10 as well, which is a part of WVD service alone. Hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you everyone for attending. We will be having upcoming webinars. We will be sending you all. Just thank you for attending, and attend our upcoming webinars as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.